Hello and welcome back to Lush Shards. We will be continuing where we left off on Tate's route. Now, if you recall, they just won the pair battles against Aiden and Dallin of all people, who you would normally think would be able to mop the floor with, Tate and Cody. Just two pairs of cats. What are they going to do? Turns out they're going to use their wits and they're going to trick these two, and yeah, they won. Anyways, so now that they've won, they're going to go back to the Wildfirst tribe place and I guess, I don't know, talk to them more because apparently Ragnar is related to Tate somehow. We're about to find out how, I guess. So yeah. Anyways, I guess without further ado, let us continue Lush Shards. Only then does he take us both in front of the Nightfallen camp's main gate. A masked Nightfallen guarding the gate gets the scare of his life, pointing a spear at us before recognizing who we are and relaxing. Hello again. Your prestigious guests have arrived. Cody, unnamed cat. You came. Ragnar jumps down from a tree, greeting us with his usual smile. You sure like taking us from behind, don't you? Behinds are my area of expertise. What were you doing in the tree? Just came back from a scouting mission. I decided to stay out of the camp specifically to wait for you. I thought that you'd appear at the same path as this morning, so my surprise appearance is technically your fault. Before I forget, what does your magic level feel like? After the battle? It's fine. I still have a lot of energy in me. Don't worry. Ah, the battle. You mentioned this before. How did it go? We won. We sure did. Fantastic. I knew that you could do it. It must have been a very easy fight to be left unharmed after it. Oh no, we were very much harmed, but we have good medics. Wow, very good medics if your wounds are already healed. Speaking of medics, you have to meet our herbalist as well. Not before I see my friend again. Certainly. How much time do you have on your hands right now? We are free for today, actually. So let the celebration begin. Couldn't say it better myself. Ki, sa? The Nightfallen guarding the gate opens it for us, revealing the same busy and peaceful landscape that we left behind in the morning. But now a small crowd surrounds and greets us in their weird language. Or threaten or harass. They could say anything really, not like we understood any of it. The cat pushes past them unimpressed and rushes towards the wyvern, which is no longer asleep. He is chewing on a thick animal bone with multiple smaller ones around him. Somebody just had a royal meal. Hi everyone. Hintash va sila? What did he say? He's asking if you'll stay for the celebration. I nod, then bow slowly with my hands tucked down. Yes, thank you for having us. Fascinated by my gestures, they all emit an intrigued, synchronized murmur of awe, then repeat the bow to me. Ragnar chuckles at us. We usually only bow at individuals that are of higher rank, and guests are always just below the chief in that regard. It is certainly interesting for them to see you bow to them first. Sorry, I don't know the norms yet. Actually, we don't even bow that much in my culture. I'm not sure why I did it. It is alright, as long as you don't kill anybody. We can't blame you for, how do you say, cultural mistakes? Killing someone is universally frowned upon, huh? Obviously. Now, let's regroup with my brother. Your Oh, right. I have to remember that he's your step-sibling. Honestly, I am very surprised he cares so little about his past about us. About me. Do you think that he has a stigma against my kind? Or perhaps just me in particular? You did kidnap his friend. Wouldn't you be upset if we kidnapped a friend of yours? If I found out that you gave a friend of mine a better life, took care of them, and protected them from all danger while worshipping them, I would thank you. Then we have different moral agendas. It is only natural, although hard to understand. We just have to accept these differences. I did live among your kind for many moons, and that just made me realize how different our morals really are. We pushed past the Nightfallen surrounding me, some of them desperately wanting to touch me, but abstaining, while others gave in to their intrusive thoughts. My tail, specifically, is a big attraction, being the longest and thickest one around. Hey, how is Kivati doing?
He let me pet him.
While eating?
Yeah, he growled at first but calmed down when I went for it. I don't want to bother him anymore, so I'll let him eat in peace.
You truly have a strong bond with Kivati.
I suppose. I'm sorry.
What for?
You were right. Even though taking him away like that was an asshole move, I have to admit that you're offering him way more than I could ever. If he were with me, he'd have to sleep in worry of predators, eat old butchered cheap meat, and stay in constant hiding from hunters. He is happy here. And the fact that I can visit him whenever, it's just the best thing that could have happened to him. I was too blind by anger to see it from the start.
All is forgiven. I am happy that bad blood between us can stay behind. Look, I'm tearing up. My heart is fluttering with excitement. Ragnar is almost crying from happiness, and the cat is getting a wider smile by the second. This calls for a big group hug. I grab the big, hard bicep on my right and the soft and delicate one from my left, dragging them closer. I squeeze them both as close as I can until the new confusion on their faces disappears. They return the hug, cementing the new bond created by the cat's acceptance.
I think this is enough.
Just one more second.
Since when did you become so handsy?
Since I get to hold a mostly naked, buff man in my arms. You did a 180 on your opinion. Why can't I turn around on my handsiness?
Sure. Back to the elephant in the camp.
Where?
It's just a saying. Means that I want to talk about something important.
Interesting.
I would kind of like to know more about your sibling theory, Ragnar.
Yes. About that, let's go answer some questions. He takes our hands, and for the first time I realize how strong these Nightfallen are. Like feathers in the wind, our bodies were swept away after him with no chance of resisting. Ruth, get the lizard to clean up Kivati's bones. He addresses a large bear with only half a mask, who grunts in response. So far, he's the biggest around. We'll have to remember that in case that I need to take out the biggest one among them to assert dominance. The lizard apparently being a savage Nightfallen in shackles, who I only see for a couple of seconds before I'm dragged away. The bear says something to the lizard in the wild fur's language. The first thing that I notice is that the lizard understood his orders. The second is that the bear sounds like he's ashamed or embarrassed to tell him what to do, fidgeting with his fingers and almost whispering those orders. The lizard dips his head in understanding and walks away, leaving the bear relieved that the interaction is over. I would ask some more questions if there weren't more important things on my mind right now. Where exactly are we going? You're going to meet my father, the chief. He knows a full story of my brother better than I do.
So, my supposed stepfather?
Right. Plus, obviously the chief has to greet guests, especially the ones that found Kivati. Some thank yous are in order. Sorry if I'm being too judging, but aren't Nightfallen very lustful and stuff? Yes, we are. In fact, the first thing that you have to do when entering the chief's quarters is dropping off your pants and bending over to him, letting him choose his favorite guest to penetrate. Okay, I guess if it's cultural, we don't want to be rude and refuse?
He's joking, Cody.
Ragnar looks back at me with a smirk.
I knew that.
Obviously. A double joke. That's what I was doing. Do not worry, I am quite familiar with your kind, so I made sure to pause any traditions that are seen as vulgar for you. The hardest part was convincing the woman to cover up their breasts. Nobody, including me, could understand why your kind hides them away, but lets the males hold theirs free.
Meh, I'm gay. I don't know anything about that.
I know too little to talk, but I appreciate the thought. Soon the main camp is left behind as we walk further through the trees, arriving at yet another clearing with a large building as the main attraction. Come, come! He excitedly drags us closer to the large wooden door, guarded by two fully masked Nightfallen with spears. As soon as they spot Ragnar approaching, they both bow deeply before one of them knocks on the door. Commence. A deep man's voice, with an accent similar to Ragnar's, gives us permission to enter. Then the other guards open the door with an inviting gesture. We step inside warily, but curiously. The interior is well illuminated by the many glassless windows, with shadows cast by the few makeshift bamboo blinds. The main room is spacious and empty, save for the few cabinets and large table in the middle, with chairs all around and a throne facing the door, on top of which a Nightfallen is sitting. He lets go of a piece of charcoal that he's been using, dusts his paws off, and then rises up to reveal a monster of a man. This Nightfallen makes Dallin look like a child, especially with that excuse of a loincloth that I would argue makes his overall demeanor much more suggestive than being simply naked. He holds a confident and imposing stance, eyeing us carefully through his skull mask, even with no eye holes, but I'm sure that there is an explanation for that. His super revealing clothes don't make it any easier to look directly at him. Father. Ragnar. Ragnar bows while the chief gives a curt nod. Are these Kivati's caretakers? Yes, this is Cody, and this is... You have finally returned home.
Yeah. Just a heads up. I don't remember anything or anyone here, especially not you. So if we could keep this less personal and more informative, that would be great. Oh, right. We both bow to the chief since, as Ragnar said, our importance here is below the chief. I appreciate the thought. I wasn't going to demand our ways to be followed down to the greetings, but I see you already made a point to impress me, and it is working. Rise up, child. I understand this must be complicated for you, so sudden too. Ragnar told me all about the two of you, and it would be my pleasure to bring back those lost memories of your childhood. But first, I want to focus on the present. You, Cody, was it? Yes, sir.
As a stranger to our tribe, you didn't have to show us kindness, but here you are. We want to thank you, specifically for Kivati's safety. And as my stepson's mate, we will... What?
What?
We're not, mates. The chief looks at Ragnar confused. That is my fault. My apologies. You two reminded me so much of my mate and I that I must have gotten confused and jumped to conclusions. Just comrades then? Yeah, you could say that. He grins subtly. Now, as you might know, if my son didn't get confused about delivering this information as well, we're holding a celebration. The preparations are already ongoing. You just lay back and relax. Our home is your home. Thank you, sir. We are already feeling very welcomed. I am actually very curious to find out more about your lifestyle. I hope my presence and curiosity won't bother anyone. On the contrary, you were the talk of the tribe the whole day. Everyone wants a piece of you. Literally or metaphorically? I believe it means using words to talk about one thing, but meaning something else. Ah, I understand. All of these words in this intriguing language. So, family history time. Where shall we start? So literally or... the beginning would be preferable.
Wait. Before you begin, Cody, do you mind if I listen alone?
What? But why?
I want to inform my own thoughts, opinions, and conclusions about this whole thing. With you here, I'm afraid that I'll think too much with my heart and not enough with my brain.
Are you saying that I'm making you stupider?
More like emotional and irrational.
I contemplate for a second. I do understand his point. This is obviously none of my business in the end. He probably doesn't want me to convince him whether or not the story is real or judge him in any way. All I can do is show my support to this part of his life without intervening. Alright, if that's what you want. But if your conclusion is a positive one in the end, then I'm going to want all the details. And I won't let you get away with your usual everyone has their secrets BS. He looks a bit surprised, like I made a very bold move, but ultimately, he chuckles.
Of course. Why would I hide a happy story from you? I'm going to brag about this for years if it's the case.
I extend my arm for a fist bump, which he immediately returns.
See you at the celebration, fatherless leopard.
I'll save you a spot, twice-adopted cat. Wonderful. In that case, we'll have a one-on-one meeting. Ragnar? Huh? You want me to leave? I was kind of curious to hear everything as well. I only know vague bits and pieces. You're not going to push our guest out into unfamiliar territory alone, are you? Ah, you're right. I forgot to introduce him to Eureka or Ruth. No matter. We'll have our own fun and write our own story. Come on, Cody. Time to satisfy that thirst for knowledge of yours. Right behind you. I follow my guide outside, forgetting how bright the sun can be when not obscured by walls and blinds. Ragnar slides his hand in mine as we step away from the chief's hut, nonchalantly, so naturally that I can't find reasons or time to complain. He takes me by the pond towards a narrow path that goes to another part of the camp. This area is deeper into the woods, the shadows enveloping most of the festive decorations already placed all around. Flowers, totems, wooden statues, and more, the main attractions being a huge round table set around a pillar identical to the one the wyvern sits under. Sweet and savory aromas hit my nose as we approach, smoke rising from inside a couple of open tents, as well as from campfires that slowly roast meat and cook stews, or soups, or whatever you cook in a big pot. All this curiosity made me forget to even ask where he's taking me, but that question is answered once he lets go of my hand, and an intriguing figure makes his way out of one of the huts. A tall and Lilith Nightfallen emerges, locks eyes with us, and hurries our way. Ragnar's eyes sparkle with happiness and perhaps other personal emotions as well. Eureka! Ah, so that's her. Now that she's closer, I can offer exposition about her appearance to myself for no reason in particular, like I always do. She seems to be a feline, a lynx, to be more precise, although I'm not sure how related to animal species Nightfallen can be. Large piercing eyes and garments that, for once, are covering more than 10% of her body. Look who remembered to visit me. Finally done with your self-assigned missions? I'm sorry, Kivati's situation took me away for a while, you know? The same reasons that we've been stuck in camp cooking, decorating, and your medicine stuff. As long as you remember our deal, you can forget about me as much as you want. How can I forget? The more time that I spend away from you, the wilder our reunion nights are. He embraces her playfully, trying to kiss her neck, while she holds back laughter. Stop it. Those are the conditions that you made up. I'm just thankful that the better that you do your job, the more safe Kivati will be. Speaking of... She pushes past Ragnar and stops before me, bowing deeply. The White Leopard. You must be Cody. I am. It's nice to meet you. I heard so much about you through third-party mouths since Ragnar simply doesn't have time for me. He hugs her again, apologetically, I take it that you're the maid that he's been talking about?
You're doing that again. I told you that we can't be mates. It simply makes no sense.
I know, I just like the idea.
So no, to answer your question, we're not. Being mates is just a title for males and female couples. We are simply partners.
I give myself a nice fat facepalm after the realization hit.
Is something wrong?
Sorry, I just kind of assumed you were female.
Based on appearance?
Yes. He turns to Ragnar, both of them chuckling.
Do I present myself as female?
Well, you do have the childbearing hips. I can see how that would be misleading. Eureka turns around and checks his behind, while Ragnar pokes it and grabs his lumps with both hands. And the amount of seed that you can hold is just so...
Ragnar! That's enough, not in front of our guest. You know how shy they are with these things.
I'm just being honest. Don't tell me that you're not trying a little bit to be more eye-catching today. You don't usually roll up your sleeves. Eureka blushes and looks away, caught in hypocrisy. Now that I think about it, his voice could have been a giveaway from the start. Although soft and soothing, it still has a more masculine, deep tone to it. Actually, I don't mind your ways. Or how should I put it better? It would bother me more if I knew that you don't feel at home just because of my presence here. Besides, you'd be surprised how similar the Academy is to this place when it comes to lewd stuff. Are you saying that you want to be more included?
He's saying that he wants to feel more included.
Well, that could be arranged. I think that the first step would be to get more accustomed to the camp.
Yes, that's why I'll take it from here.
What? You think that I don't know my own camp well enough to be a guide?
You have to prepare the music and be sure that the table is set for when we come back.
Come back? You're already stealing Cody away from me.
Eureka sticks to me with both arms wrapped around one of mine, looking at Ragnar with a sly gaze. It's my turn for a while. Besides, I've been working my ass off the whole day while you were playing in the trees.
That is fair enough. See you in a little bit.
Come, let us gather everyone from the main camp.
Meanwhile, what do you think so far?
I had no idea Nightfallen can cast magic.
It is much, much weaker than what you and your people can do. Ragnar is more talented than me, but I know all the spells that I need to know to protect my tribe. What about your backstory?
It is definitely believable, and it makes a lot of sense. Mr. Sybil said that I came from the forest, never went into details. Still, why would I run away in the first place? And why don't I remember anything? I was 5. Kids remember things since they turned 3.
I could not tell you. Soon after, Ragnar started his journey as well, making me lose 2 cubs in such a short period, and a mate.
So, what happened to my stepmom?
She was killed by hunters one unfortunate winter night. The prey and resources around camp were scarce, so she decided to go further, towards a city populated by your kind, despite my warnings. Only 6 moons after we found you.
I am sorry.
It is not your fault. I always considered you part of us, so I cannot hold a grudge against you. A lot more of our tribe mates suffered the same fate along the moons. That is why I want Kivati to grow strong and make sure nothing like that ever happens again.
At least, it is now illegal to hunt you.
Yes, it is good news. Let's go back to happy memories. Now, do you want to know about the name that we've chosen for you back then?
Hell yeah!
Back to you. Today I've been dragged along a lot by many people, and Eureka is no exception. Once again, I'm surprised by the strength that he has being a Nightfallen. His arms are definitely not thicker than mine. It's not fair. More bushes and low tree branches hit my face as we walk back on the narrow path. It sounds like the celebration has begun in these parts. Indeed, the quiet, peaceful atmosphere of the main camp turned to excitement and laughter all around. Nightfallen playing on improvised drums and singing in their language with high-pitched voices. The unnaturally tall trees surrounding the camp give enough shade that you might mistake the time of day for evening. The somewhat obscure place is being illuminated more by fire than sun. Fire made by torches, campfires, but also a huge pyre in the middle of the camp, where the wyvern used to reside. Why is Kivati's place burning? Is he okay?
I keep failing to provide simple information, thinking it is common knowledge. You see, we are supposed to prepare a new place for Kivati to sleep on every day while he is in his growing stage. After he awakes from his long daily slumber, we burn the offerings, believing that this way it will burn his earthly attachments and grow faster.
And this is also confusing.
I would be happy to answer any questions that you have, just perhaps later. For now, let me show you the rest of our camp. I really want to meet your friend and Kivati's savior, but I'm assuming that the chief must need him for a little longer.
I follow Eureka again through the different parts of this so-called camp. Most of this is empty since people are celebrating around the pyre already. He shows me where the food is stored, the bathrooms with impressive sewage systems, and the trading huts.
You can help yourself with any of our food, clothes, or people that you need. Anyone would be happy to provide our guests with anything.
People?
Yes, if you need lust release, just enter one of those barracks and somebody will be with you shortly. You can then turn them away if their bodies are not to your liking or...
Oh, wait. Just like that?
Why, yes. As I said, it would be an honor for anyone. Looking around, the few Nightfallen still around throw glances in my direction as if waiting for the moment I step in said barracks.
I'll pass for now.
As you wish. In that case, let's move on.
We walk past this medicine hut of which Eureka is very proud of.
Nobody gets sick with me around.
After a minute or two of walking, and after a couple of history lessons about the camp's walls, I realize that he reminds me a lot of a certain cat that I know. A little surprise encounter makes him get quiet and stop in place. The lizard from earlier is done with his task, given by the bear. He looks at me with an intense gaze before shaking his head and turning to Eureka. He seems to be looking for his next order.
Koli Stuha Guru?
Eureka looks uncomfortable with him around. He dips his head and walks away slowly, turning his head towards me one last time.
Sorry about that. We should go back. We don't want to miss your friend's arrival.
I'm keeping my mouth shut about the lizard for now, since nobody is in a hurry to explain his presence to me.
Look, it's your partner, the other savior of Kivati. I want to make a good first impression so badly. What is his name? Do you mind introducing me?
Of course not. Come on. I'll bet that he'll like you. He likes cheerful and happy people. It's proving a little hard to get to him. A group of wildfurs dancing around the fire, blocking our way with unpredictable movements. We get to see the wyvern safe and sound, following a large bear around, whose name I believe was Ruth. My cat friend on top his shoulders, any kind of worry, doubt, or anger completely gone from his face, replaced by the cheerfulness he was originally named after, Tate. I miss him. The wyvern is desperately trying to fly its way in his arms, like a puppy begging for attention, but his pitiful wings are not developed enough. Yells of encouragement are still being thrown at him from Nightfallen all around. His meeting with the chief must have been a success. Should we perhaps not bother them? At that moment, the cat's eyes target us like arrows as we stand at the edge of the crowd that is just getting bigger and bigger.
Ruth! Taki Ki!
He points towards us and the bear with the cat on his shoulders, who towers over everyone else, steps through towards us. Obviously being the life of the gathering here, and the ones Kivati follows, most Nightfallen follow them, bringing the deafening voices along. Hey! Look who's feeling much better. You even learned some of their language already.
Yep. The chief told me so many things in surprising detail, it's hard not to believe him. Get this, apparently my real name, or at least the name that he gave me when they found me, is Kusani, which means something like the one that does it. Not sure what that really means, but it sounds like I actually have a purpose now.
That's great. Is that the name that you'll use from now on?
Yeah? Do you like it?
It's interesting. Much better than Tartarus in any case.
Don't even remind me. From now on, refer to me by Kusani, please.
If that's what you wish. At least now I have a name to address him by.
And this is Ruth. You saw him before.
Sure did. Can't forget that towering body. He grunts, satisfied in response.
He was apparently my caretaker, and the chief's left hand. Ragnar's the right, of course. Ahem.
Oh, Kusani, this is Eureka, Ragnar's partner and my guide for today.
I heard your name before. Ruth here can't stop talking about you.
Eureka. Pretty. Aw, he has a crush.
Actually, he has a crush on you, Cody.
Me?
He just loves you.
Hearing the word love, Ruth gets flustered, panicked even, immediately getting red beneath the mask. Kusani, no, not true.
Yeah, he does. He's been eyeing you as soon as we stepped through the gate.
Danger. I look for danger then.
Yeah, because these 5 feet tall kittens are such a danger to you, big boy.
Ruth, like little Cody. Only little. Little love. Don't judge a book by its cover, because apparently this huge, intimidating Nightfallen is actually just a big teddy bear, letting a cat 5 times smaller than in mass play with his ears, accessories, and even squeeze his muscles jokingly. I might need some help in this foreign social interaction. I squat down and turn around, signaling to Eureka to do the same. Psst, Eureka, how do you respond to confessions around here? Usually you go to the breeding hut and see how you both like it. If you're both satisfied in the end, you move on to be partners. If not, you can try again later or go see other furs. Is there something closer to the ways my culture does it? You can claim you're sick, but I doubt that it would work. Very helpful. I'm sorry. It's quite unheard of to refuse a public invitation like that. Look, I'll tell him that you're not interested, and you can go sit somewhere else, and it's okay. I'll think of something myself.
What are you two whispering there about? You're making Ruth feel anxious.
The crowd around us are now making less noise as they get caught up in the situation. Kusani has a stupid grin on his face, obviously enjoying watching introverts suffer. Ruth. Me, you big, strong, grr. I flex my arms and I believe Ruth takes these words as compliments. Me? Me weak. Me little. Yes, little partner. Big partner. Like Eureka, Ragnar. No. Eureka's strong. Very, very strong. Me? Me nerd. Nerd? Weak like female?
That's sexist, Cody.
Sex? Yes, this way. No! No. That's not what I meant.
Oh, you awkward hot bitch.
Thanks?
Here, I'll help you. Ruth, shoot shik, Cody, twerp, stew.
Ah, twerp. Everyone listening seemed disappointed, almost as much as Ruth. What? Eureka, what did he say?
It means that you're already taken.
Ah, of course. The good old I have a boyfriend excuse. How did I forget about it?
Let's change the subject.
Please.
How do you find our camp so far, Kusani? It's awesome. It's like living in my tent, but with a community and a larger scale. I got like 20 hookups all lined up, but I'm gonna have to deny them all because I have only eyes for one person.
Aww. He looks lovingly at Kivati biting at someone's tail.
Aww.
Oh, okay. Well, me and Eureka are actually here to tell you that the feast is in preparation, so you should all get ready soon.
Oh man, I'm starving actually. We haven't eaten anything all day, have we? Just please tell me that you don't serve fish here. A very large variety of fishes in our culture required. We use fish to... No fish.
But we have...
No fish.
No fish. Got it. You can't just tell them not to serve their hard work because you don't like it.
Alright, fine. Just don't put it on my side of the table.
Do you have any meal preferences, Cody? No, because I'm not a spoiled little brat. Understood. He whispers a couple of words to a random fur, who books it towards the narrow path.
Something is wrong.
Deadly silence follows a statement from Airy, night fallen within earshot. Apparently even the ones that don't speak English know that tone of voice. They wait and listen to the cat.
The music isn't playing loud enough. Kutsa, Turni Musa.
Of course. The drums, now accompanied by other instruments as well, start playing a joyful tune, and everybody's feet catch fire. Metaphorically.
Hey Cody, how old are you?
Huh? Why?
Just tell me.
19. You know that.
Are you sure? I thought it was more like 90, judging by your stiff, unmoving body. Come on, move those juicy hips.
You're the one talking. Just standing on Ruth's shoulders like that, all you're doing is throwing your hands in the air.
Psst, at least I have a pair to dance with. Eureka, do you dance?
Only if I have a pair. He glances at me, shuffling his feet and batting his eyelashes. I guess I didn't come here not to have fun. Would you give me the honor of hurling your limbs around in sync with mine? It would be my pleasure.
Woohoo!
I would like to say that I danced like a professional, that my moves were unmatched, but something even better happened. It might be hard to believe, but secluded wild people don't have the same standards that we have for dancing, nor the popular pop or electro music that we're used to, so I got away with acting like an unpredictable hurricane in the middle of the crowd, with Eureka adding his own moves. At one point, Kusani turned around on top of Ruth's shoulders, holding tight with his legs around his head, while he spun him around at high speed. It was a little weird seeing my friend stick his whole ass and bulge in Ruth's face, but hey, they were having fun and nothing sexual came of it, so I shut my mouth. 20 minutes of energized movements around the fire later, I was met with damp, sweaty clothes. Eureka makes way for us to get out of the crowd, and we settle on watching the others continue to mess around. That was fun. Yeah, too bad I don't have the stamina. How do you do it? Living in the wilderness might have something to do with it. Of course, physical activity, something that I avoided all my life. You dance very well. You think so? I literally fell down twice. Were you not heroically jumping in front of Kivati so that he doesn't throw himself into the pyre? Nope. Ah. Your fall still stopped him from doing so, which means that in my eyes, you're a masterful dancer. You're gonna make me blush. Did I not already? My, I'm getting old then. No, don't say that. You're still hot. I mean young. I think. Why, thank you. Change the subject, change the subject, change the subject. Thankfully, he changes it for me, so we don't dwell on awkward silence. Your clothes are, wet. Yeah, low stamina comes with a price. Would you like to change them? We can put them up to dry in the sun. I don't bring a spare and I don't want to make my friend teleport me all the way back. So I'll endure it. Didn't you say before that you wanted to be more included? Why don't we go find you a little something to cover up while somebody washes and dries your clothes? Alright. I'm into it. Fantastic. Come with me. We avoid the big crowd of loud furs and walk across the camp, following the lines of huts and tents near the fence. Although it is a day of celebration, a lot of residents are going about their daily life as if nothing happened. Washing clothes, preparing leather, carpentry, and many more activities don't necessarily have the privilege of taking a day off. I can't help but turn my head towards the lizard Nightfallen from before, who especially can't catch a break. He's on his knees, weeding a patch of grass around one of the tents as we walk by, before being sent to fetch water from the pond, to put out the pyre when the time comes. He points towards 2 large buckets filled with water, saying something under his breath, in a language that seems a little bit different than what the wild furs are using. That is not something that the wild fur Nightfallen in front of him wanted to hear, winning him a heavy backhand slap in the face before being sent again with a warning. I'm not sure how to react, or if I should ask more questions about it, but Eureka doesn't bat an eye, so I keep it to myself as well. The working people around give me a lot of different looks, either because I'm their chosen savior guest, or because they think that I look weird. Hey, do you think my clothes are weird? Why do you ask? Well, some of your tribe mates are looking questionably at me. Well, yeah. It is definitely weirder than your friend's outfit. How is my outfit weirder? First, the colors are too bright, too white, easy to spot in the wild. What a revelation. Secondly, every part of your body save your head and hands is covered. That is highly unusual, especially since your friend is more uncovered. They might think that you are his personal sex object, something very alluring to the eye, prohibited to touch by anyone else. You're forced to dress more so others don't get dirty thoughts. I suddenly feel really good about changing. Eureka lets me enter first inside a tent, more colorful than the others, decorated with animals made of cloth and butterflies of silk, their own different take on origami. This place screams, "Come here to get dressed." Inside is a single petite mongoose lady who bows to us but stays out of our way as much as possible otherwise, unlike retailers and vendors in normal society. I'm thinking about something simple, something comfortable that will turn heads but not in a bad way. The selection wasn't large, a lot of shades and textures, but 90% of clothes consist of loincloths and some makeshift bras. How about this? He picks out a long and wide silky piece, which he wraps around my waist and over one shoulder. I'm pleasantly surprised that he is taking into consideration our naked is bad policy, but honestly, as I said before, I want to fit in. And most of all, I'd rather not look like a Roman peasant from ancient times. I was thinking of something simpler. You know, like most men wear around here, so I don't look too out of place. Something like Ruth's? More like Ragnar's. I still want to have my front and back covered. Yes, I chose Ragnar's garments for this occasion. I bet that I can get something suitable for you as well. There really isn't much to choose from when your choices are a big piece of cloth, small piece of cloth, this color or that color, feathers or stones. How about this? It matches your eyes, and I promise that this one is not see-through when wet like the others. It is acceptable. Come on, pants off. Let's let Mira fit and sew it. Off? Like, right now? Meh, who am I kidding? I'm just embarrassing myself by delaying. That's the spirit. I get completely undressed, pausing a little at the underwear, but the loincloth is supposed to wrap around everything, so those would just make everything less comfortable. The mongoose Mira sews the cloth around my waist, with Eureka's help. I even managed to not get too excited when their soft, warm hands were near my goods. Walk around a little. Now, run and jump. This reminds me of a childhood, whenever I had to get new shoes. Fits like a glove. And it looks great on you as well. Mira, do you mind taking care of these? He hands my clothes to her, which she accepts emotionlessly. By the time that we get back outside, the torches are no longer lit. The pyre is being extinguished by the lizard as we speak, under an older Nightfallen's supervision. The music has stopped, and the last of the camp's folk can be seen making their ways through the narrow path. My stomach gives off a low growl, reminding me that there are countless ways that I can embarrass myself in front of new people. Kusani mentioned that you two haven't eaten anything all day. Your town's resources must be scarce. I am sorry for that. Yes, we haven't eaten, but that's because we just didn't have the time. Don't worry. No time for food? Yet another difference that I will have to simply accept between us. I'm assuming that you take mealtime more seriously around here? Of course. How can we be of use to our tribe if we don't have the energy to work? A loud horn can be heard in the distance, followed by faint music. Is it starting? We're gonna be late. We will be late to Ragnar's boring speech, you mean? Still, we don't want to upset anybody, so we should hurry. This time the camp feels empty. No souls remain. Even the lizard and his watchers begin to make their way to the feast upon hearing the horn. The chief's store no longer has guards either. No man left behind today, huh? This part of the camp is almost unrecognizable since we left, with dozens of wild furs occupying a big portion, blocking a lot of the background. New light given off by the torches replaces the almost non-existent natural light blocked by the trees. Aside from torches, there are glowing crystals inside makeshift lamps of bendy sticks. The empty round table is now filled to the brim with things that I will need help naming. At the foot of the floral pillar lies none other than the wyvern, torn between going to sleep or attacking the food. And this is why we should all be thankful to and congratulate our guests for reuniting us with Kivati.
For like the 5th time.
Furthermore,
hey, everybody, Cody and Eureka are here. Let's switch our attention to them.
everybody seemed relieved to get a break from Ragnar's rambling, especially when more than half of them don't even know what he's saying. Ah, good evening. No, noon. Good noon. Oh, Susu, good noon. Cody, Eureka. Yes, good noon. Hi. I see you're getting the hang of our language, Ruth. Kind of. He nods proudly.
Hey, looking good, Cody. Finally decided to embrace the sluttiness? And why were you so late? Did you, in the words of the Wildfurs, claim Eureka as your own? Careful, might make Ragnar jealous.
Jealous? Of my new friend and my partner bonding? No way, I am looking forward to that.
Hear that, Cody? Get what he's saying? He wants you to go and... Okay, what is this? Why are you just standing there smiling? Can you hear me?
Yes, I heard you. I just missed your teasing.
Huh? Of course you can't keep away from me. I'm just too irresistible.
You sure are. Sarcasm. A droplet of water falls on the cat's snout. Don't tell me that it's gonna rain. Nope, it's not water. It's drool. A huge bear is towering behind the cat, his mouth open and tongue out. Cody. Pretty.
I think the word you're looking for is spicy.
Ugh. Spy. See. I was thinking of provoking. Provoking. What about come hither? Come. When do I put my foot down?
Knowing you, never. Now come on, Cody. Give us a spin.
Everyone, including other furs nearby that have no business with this conversation, watch me closer, patiently. Ugh. I turn around, leaning my weight on one leg, then the other, switching my hand from hip to hip. Lastly, I finish off with a twirl that gives everyone a more in-depth look without being too explicit. Then everybody claps. No, that is not a joke. Everybody quite literally started clapping, including the chief, who has been sitting on a special throne on the other side of the table with his guards nearby. Ruth like you. I would have never guessed, Ruth. We're happy that you're embracing our traditions already.
Hey, what about me? I'm already getting the hang of your language. Praise be all who act selflessly to show respect for others. I'll take that as a you too.
Ruth want look naked Cody, but Ruth want food more. Same. I mean, just the food part.
Then let the feast begin. That is, if a certain chief's son is done with the speech our guests heard multiple times already.
Apparently, since everyone can't help but fall asleep, even my own brother.
Sorry, try harder not to bore me next time.
Ruth takes Kusani to the chief's side of the table, while Ragnar and Eureka hang on to both of my arms on either side, guiding me to the opposite part. Aren't we gonna sit all together? You know, the two guests and their friends with the chief? It just makes sense.
Kusani requested a section with no fish in the dishes or his vicinity in general. I'd hate for you to miss out on our cuisine because of him.
My father is not a big seafood lover either, so they go hand in hand. You're right, living so close to the ocean and not capitalizing on it would be a shame. As soon as we, the main guests, and the most important figures of the tribe choose our seats, everyone else joins around. No more signals or waiting for approval, everyone digs in immediately. The music would stop from time to time, so that the musicians can be switched and get more plates themselves as well. Plate is a strong word. Huge, clean leaves were used instead, with occasional wooden bowls for more soupy dishes, and as utensils, thankfully the carpentry side evolved enough that we have forks and spoons. I'm not a fan of fur in my mouth if I had to use my paws to eat. Eureka is very proud of the whole celebration, but especially the food. Apparently he's the tribe's main herbalist, main cook, sewing expert, event planner, and manages all cleaning duty as well as resource stocks manager, such as wild fruit, vegetables, and wild game. Just what don't you do around here? He's not the best breeding mount. Huh? Eureka looks away embarrassed. Oh, that's not a joke. I can't help it. Every time someone wants me to follow them to the breeding hunt, I can't help but think of all my duties and how much time I'd waste. Until I come in and have to basically drag him inside and give him the old seed pump for hours. You're always annoying when you do that. Yet you can't stop moaning the whole time. How did you even survive without me for so long? I just, pass out until someone did what you do until I'm back up and running. I'm sorry, pass out? I feel like I'm missing information. Of course, your kind doesn't have this. You see, Nightfallen don't just want to get rid of their lust through sex. They have to. And it only works with partners. I mean, it feels good alone too, but you need someone else to get rid of lust. So it works kind of like energy? Yeah, imagine if you ate only grain and water for weeks. You would survive, but you wouldn't have the energy to do anything. I didn't even know Nightfallen can do that with one another. It's not as effective as having someone of your kind as partners. It's true. That's why we keep open doors for anyone. We're talking too much about lust right now, Cody. Here, this is my specialty. I used spices Ragnar brought from his adventures. So I helped. He says, very proud of himself. Savory braised wild boar, tender chunks of succulent boar, slow cooked to perfection in rich and aromatic broth, infused with wild herbs and earthy spices, resulting in melt-in-your-mouth goodness. I never had any meat that's not farm-raised animals or fish, so boar is a little intimidating. As I said before, I'm taking risks today. I'm having fun, so it's boar time. The meat is cut into small cubes across the skin. I stab a piece with my fork, which makes it shred into smaller pieces. A great first hint, it really is a melt-them-in-your-mouth experience. I use my spoon to help scoop some out, with Eureka's eyes following my every move. Then, with a resounding crunch, my teeth broke through the outer layer of crispy golden skin, revealing a tender, flavorful interior. The meat yielded effortlessly, releasing a burst of rich, savory juices that danced upon my tongue. The intricate blend of herbs and spices infused the boar with an irresistible depth of flavor that transports me to the heart of the untamed wilderness. Whoa! Did you just take a bite of meat or have the best orgasm of your life? Shut up, shut up. He loves it. You love it, don't you? This is the best thing that I've ever tasted. Tastes like pork. Just as well. She is an orgasm in my mouth. You're amazing, Eureka. I could eat like this for the rest of my life. I'm overjoyed beyond words and so very honored. I know your kind is very intricate and explosive flavors, so I'm glad that you enjoy the simpler recipe. What about this? Oh, and this. Please try this as well. Ragnar, give that whole plate in here. He'll choke. Slow down. Oh, please. It's fine. This is where the intense lunch session really starts. Eureka makes sure to tell me the story and recipe of every dish. The grilled river trout with citrus zest, freshly caught trout, delicately seasoned and grilled to perfection, boasting a tantalizing, smoky flavor. Forest harvest salad, a vibrant melody of foraged treasures from the forest, including crisp wild greens, tangy berries, and crunchy nuts, all tossed in a light vinaigrette made from the hand-picked herbs. Each bit delivers a symphony of flavors and textures, celebrating nature's bounty. Herb-infused root vegetable melody, a colorful array of hearty root vegetables roasted to caramelized perfection. Exotic mushroom skewers, at least for me they're exotic. Smoked venison with wild berry reduction. I could go on forever because the variety is simply infinite and Eureka is proud of all of them. Stomachache? I don't know her. All I know is great food and even greater company. Two completely different but equally hot men rubbing against me, trying to stuff my mouth as much as they can. In other words, heaven. In the meantime, I can smell the scent of fish all the way over here. There's just no way to hide it. It's too strong, even half a table away. These people are already breaking their backs to take care of my every need. I can't demand any more favors. But God, how I wish to throw it all back into the river. Cody looks like he's having a lot of fun. Eureka and Ragnar are all over him, and Ruth over here is distracted by the food. Otherwise, he'd be on top of Cody right now. Am I jealous? I'm not jealous. Who would I be jealous of? Cody, for getting so much attention from people other than me? Or jealous on the people that give him the attention themselves? No, neither. I found my family. Well, step-family. I'm happy. Aren't I? I'm not jealous. I'm content. Son? Huh? Oh, me, right. What? You are not eating. Why? In my overthinking and attempts to please everyone with my talkative nature, I forgot to stuff my mouth, and the truth is, I really am hungry, even if something just feels wrong. No. I am. Look, see. Roasted carrots, so sweet. And this meat? Delicious. Quail? Rat. I'll stick to the vegetables. Kivati finally decided, after minutes of hard thinking, that he's going to jump on the table and help himself with some food. The meat right in front of him is apparently not good enough, so he walks on the table's edge, demanding everyone feed him whatever they have on their forks, which they gladly do. He finally stops in front of me, arcing his back, asking for pats, before jumping off again and going to sleep under the flowery pillar with a large bone in his mouth,
suckling at it until light snores can be heard. He's cute, even if he's kind of dangerous when not in the mood.
You know, Kusani, I am glad that you came home. Your arrival here, with Kivati in hands, brought not only hope, but joy to us all.
And all it took was a bit of kidnapping.
And for that, I apologize. I didn't even know where you were, or if you were alive.
Don't worry, I'm over it. Blessed be your secluded tribe.
Your friend seems to be getting along pretty well with my other son and his partner.
Yeah.
Perhaps well enough that he decides to settle here with them in the future. That way he can be closer to you as well. His exotic fur caught the eye of a lot of your tribesmates.
Yeah. Wait. Here with them? Me?
Well, you are staying with us, aren't you? We are a family. I thought you made up your mind about your destiny here.
I have other family as well. I'm not abandoning them. I can't.
Didn't you say they disappeared one day?
Yeah, but they'll come back. It's not like they're dead or anything. I just don't know where they are. Besides, I can teleport. I'll definitely do so to visit both you and Kivati.
I see.
What was that about Cody?
What was what?
You don't think that he'll want to stay, do you? He's a city boy. He won't fit in.
You're the one that refuses to wear our traditional clothing, correct?
I guess he does like it here, huh? I look at the laughing leopard getting his face stuffed by two lovely Nightfallen. And them.
Back to you. And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. So, we finally got to be introduced to the village proper. We got to meet Eureka, we got to meet Ruth, we got to meet the chief, and we are now celebrating the return of their little dragon god. We also know that apparently Tate used to be called Kusani. And Cody was, he got some clothes because he got a little dirty during the whole little thing. And overall, Tate appears to be having a good time. Kind of. He kind of seems like he's going through the motions, though. At least in that little exchange towards the end where he was just sort of like, I'm happy that I'm here, right? Cody seems to be having fun, I guess. He's getting close with Eureka Ragnar. And the chief sort of made it seem like, maybe Cody wants to stay. Maybe he'll be able to visit you, since you're gonna be here. And Kusani was sort of like, yeah, I guess. Didn't really seem too keen to stay there. But yeah. So what are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching/listening. If you would like to play Shards yourself, you can do so by going down into the link in the description for MindofFur's Twitter and his Blue Sky, which I should by now have already linked. They should have direct links to the itch.io page where you can download Shards and play it yourself, or you can just go to itch.io yourself and download it there. If you can't find it, then there is a very obvious reason why. It should be very obvious. Anyways, I will also post a link down for their Patreon where you can subscribe and get early access to builds of Shards. And as of recording this outro, the Scribbles route is already being worked on, and I think it just needs illustrations. I'm not really sure. I know that Therium got a sprite update. He doesn't look his little usual scrunkly horse self. He looks a little bit more refined now. which I guess is good because you're going to be spending some time with him during the Scribbles route. Since he is the summoning shard character, although you would think that you would spend more time with a mysterious dog, unless the dog ends up being like your rival or something. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah. Also, my coffee's gonna be down in the description in case you wanna, donate to me. You don't have to, but it would be appreciated. Along with the memberships. The channel has channel memberships now. And you can join by either going, clicking the little button that is gonna be appearing below the video that says join. There might be a video that introduces what the channel memberships are there. I should by now have already made the video introducing channel memberships and telling you guys like, hey, subscribe here. There is a very low tier where you will get thanked in future videos after people subscribe, after it actually goes live, because I'm recording this in the past. And there's two tiers. There's the one where you get thanked, and then there's the other one where you get early access, where you get to see videos that I have already recorded, and usually videos that I have already recorded, edited, and everything would go and become scheduled so they, appear automatically at a certain date. But I'm going to put those as member only first, and then eventually when they have to go public, I'll just switch them to public. So, you get to see those videos first. That doesn't necessarily guarantee that there will always be a video there. But I will try to record more and, have stuff there. Again, not a guarantee, but, it's appreciated whichever tier you choose. Again, and whichever tier you choose, you will get a little badge by your name that says that, you're a channel member. And the more months pass, the colors will change until eventually it reaches 1 year. And you will also get little emojis that you can use when you comment. And the more people eventually join, the more little emojis that I can actually upload. And then, the more stuff that you guys can use. But yeah, right now there's only 4. Anyways, there may be more in the future. When this video actually comes out, I don't know. It depends on if people actually subscribe. Anyways, but yeah, so I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.